Well, that's pretty much what we talked about. You know, that felt like playoff basketball, and that's what I just kept telling our players. Like, that's who they are. They're a good veteran team. They came out in the third quarter and they got in our ass, and when they did, we didn't handle it very well. And then we let the officials rattle us as well, and that's growing and understanding. Like, if you just give a team like that a little bit, they'll take advantage of you, and that's what we did. But defensively, we've just been much better since the break. And, I mean, we gave up 80 points in 3 quarters. I mean, you don't give yourself a chance. And a lot of it, we just were watching a few clips. A lot of it was us. We weren't where we were supposed to be, just in like a 5-man shell. Like, we weren't at the nail. We weren't in 2-9. We weren't in help. We weren't in gaps. We let them get by us and with dribble penetration too much. Our goal is to contest every single shot. We didn't get out on our closeouts and contest. And they're a great shooting team.
Go, Keem, then we'll go back to Christine.
Coach, throughout your win streak, you've had that kind of consistent contribution from another player like Nalissa or Temi or Lexi. Just how important is it to get that fourth contributor either as a starter or off the bench?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I think tonight we were playing okay, and then we got to that third quarter and got rattled, and I think we just tried to do it ourselves a lot instead of the way that we've been able to get out of those moments as of late when we've been able to stop people's runs. And we just let it snowball on us. And that's something that we've been better at and that we've got to make sure that we clean up, because this is someone we could possibly play. And just gave us a taste of what it feels like that playoff basketball. So we've just got to be ready for that, ready to stop those runs and not let just our emotions get the best of us.
We'll go Christine, then we'll go Matt.
Christy, so in the third quarter, Caitlin is, revving up the crowd and whatever, but is clearly, and she said it too, getting, there's that line, right? And you didn't want to cross it. What do you say anything to her at that point? She came to the bench, obviously, for those last few minutes of the third quarter, and she then seemed to be fine as far as the fourth quarter emotionally, right? And just back in it. Is there a switch that you can kind of turn on and off, or how do you coach someone who is obviously the crowd is loving it, right? Yeah. But clearly you also don't want to have her get another technical foul or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's, she's just so passionate and so. She's just a hell of a, her competitive spirit is like, it reminds me of Diana Taurasi. She's that. And so when she is upset or mad, like that's what we've been working on, trying to figure out how to get past those moments. I was worried she was going to pick up a T in that third quarter, and thank goodness that she didn't. But that's growth, and she's got to learn that in those moments I need my point guard to have a cool head, get us in whatever we need to be in offensively, and then if it's not a foul call that you thought, you got to get back. You got to get back and transition and help our team get stops. So, we're working on those things. That's what a young team, that's what you do, is you try to figure out, talk about these moments, watch them in video, show them where, okay, this just can't happen because it caused this, and this. There's a reaction, to all of our actions, and we've got to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a worse spot with those kind of moments.
Go down the line, Matt, Chloe, James, then Jacob.
Yeah, in the third quarter, coming out of half, Minnesota was forcing a lot of turnovers on the pick and roll.
Yes.
Just collapsing in that high action. From your viewpoint on the sidelines, were you just actively wanting to change that? Was it maybe just realizing a little bit too late that you needed to change something? What was kind of the game plan there?
No, I think there were some times probably when we go back and watch, we probably needed to execute something that was a little longer. We are second or first in the league in points in the paint, or I think third or fourth, but we tied Minnesota, who isn't very good at points in the paint. I think they're maybe 11 or 12. And so we have to take advantage of where we have the advantage. And I think there were times where we needed to just come down, execute, get a paint touch, and then play out of that. And we were taking some early shots that didn't go our way, and then long shots end up being long rebounds, which is hard to get back in transition defense.
Chloe, then James.
Yeah, Caitlin talked about a play in the fourth quarter where you guys were down 1, and then she tried to bounce the ball, I believe it was to Temi, and it was intercepted pretty easily, and how she thought that was a bad read. Just how do you try to coach her through that and the kind of if she wants to take that shot herself?
Yeah, she came right to the bench and talked about it, that it was a bad pass, bad decision. We just have to make sure we take care of that basketball in those moments. We have to get a good shot. have some good execution, and give ourselves a chance. That I think that was even like with 16 seconds on the shot clock. So, we didn't even use up any clock when we'd cut it to 1. But I mean, she knows, and she will learn from it. She's been learning from those kind of things. And we just got to move forward and not make those same mistakes.
Last two, James and Jacob.
Christie, you talked about Fee before the game. In the third quarter in particular, what did you see from her that was making it so difficult to just contain some of the things she was doing?
Yeah, she went to the 3, and we were she was trying to post us up, which was tough. And Lexi was in foul trouble a little bit, so she was trying not to be as physical. But that's you just can't play that way with her. And so we were trying to make some adjustments and get a big on her down there. But I mean, when you have the ability to move someone like Fee to play the 3 and then play the 4 according to who's guarding them to get the advantage, I mean, that's just tough. And that just, as the defense, you've got to recognize those things early, and we're not there yet at recognizing those things early enough and making our adjustments. We've talked about several things that we're going to need to do if this is who we are matched up with in the playoffs. She's a heck of a player, and her versatility is, really tough.
Jacob, last one.
Kelsey said that the message from some of the vets after the game was that this is kind of the standard now, coming up against a team like Minnesota. Is that one of the takeaways for you, that, if this is going to be a team you're going to play, that this is almost a higher standard now?
Yeah, I think, at halftime, we were doing things okay. I don't think we were doing them at the highest level that we've been doing them. And just, Minnesota is the, second, third place team in the league right now. We're trying to be that. We're trying to get to the point where, you make mistakes against teams like that, and they will punish you for them. And we just made too many of those, especially when we brought it back, and got it to within 1, and then also 5. We had some really bad moments where we just didn't execute or didn't get a stop, and they hit like 4 threes in the fourth quarter and had an and 1. I mean, you just can't let those things happen. Got to take those away. And we put them at the free throw line too much. That's discipline. Our foul discipline wasn't good. When we're frustrated like that and we're getting beat in dribble penetration, we slap down. I mean, that's an easy call for an official. And that's just discipline things that we got to get better at.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a line. I thought it was frustrating. I thought I got fouled a couple times there in the second half on mid-range jump shots. And, I mean, it happens. Sometimes they get called, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. I think I settled a little bit too much for mid-range jump shots. But, like I said, I felt I got bumped a little bit, and I was honestly trying to shot fake them to get them to foul me. But, I mean, I think I could have done a little bit better job controlling my own emotions, but I think it just started bad for us and then continued to snowball, and that's something we have to control a little bit better. Not only, did we not execute on the offensive end in the third quarter, but I thought they destroyed us offensively. Our defense wasn't very good, so I think just improving in that area and just all kind of gathering our emotions a little bit better and finding better shots. I thought we kind of stopped playing in a way that made us successful in the first half, so just a good learning opportunity for us. I feel like we could have played a lot better. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a line, and sometimes your passion and your emotion can get to you, but that's never something I would ever change, or anybody on our team would change. So,
Go Chloe, then Christine.
Yeah, Caitlin, you mentioned, how everything started to snowball. Just what do you think you guys need to do to just stop the bleeding in that instance?
I mean, I think it starts defensively. I think get a stop. I mean, it's going to be hard to win a game when they outscore you by 17 points in a quarter. It's impressive that we got it back to 1 point. And honestly, I thought we played really good in the fourth, and my turnover in transition is what I felt like really kind of ended the momentum for us. I think it was 78-77. I got a block and a steal, and we were running in transition, and honestly made just a really bad read. I thought the girl was going to come over. She never ended up coming over. So I think defensively is where it has to start. Our first quarter defense was really good. Every quarter besides that was Third quarter was bad. So I think just continue to get better. But we had moments, especially to begin the fourth quarter too, that were a lot better than the other two.
Christine, then Brad.
Yeah, going back to the fourth quarter, when you guys, the crowd was going absolutely crazy, as loud as I think I've heard it here, and you're hitting everything for both of you, Kelsey and Caitlin. Just, can you describe that feeling as you're reeling them in and all of a sudden you're down by only 1 point?
Kelsey, you want to start?
I think it's a
it's a really amazing feeling when you're a competitor and you have, the city at your hands and feet and they supporting us. Win, lose, or draw. It just makes you go harder. It makes you appreciate the moments a little bit more. I think as a group we appreciate the energy. It's unspoken, but we appreciate it. And we try to use that as fuel to kind of like get the next stop or get the next one. And I won't want any other way. I appreciate who our fans are and what they bring to the table for us. For real, it's appreciated.
Go Brad, then we go Matt.
Kelsey, first quarter for you guys. What did you like about the start? Strong start, pretty much here. First quarter, first half.
Yeah, I think our start was pretty effective. I thought it was a high-paced game. I thought C-Square set us up from a PG standpoint to get us into that pace and play confidently in space, in pace. We were getting stops, too, and I think that helped. But I always say it, the minute we stop getting stops, you see Fever kind of like tank or, we kind of plummet. And I think that's our next maturation. I think playing a team like Minnesota, that is our gauge. That's our standard. And I think that we can get better from what you saw today based on those down the stretch, getting those stops and getting those next rebounds. We got to be better, and I think that's our next maturation defensively.
We go Matt, then we go Michael.
Yeah, Kelsey being a veteran of this team, just what do you think you can learn the most from a loss like this? After 5 wins, then lose, but you still have a lot of games left to play.
I think that from a leadership standpoint, I think we held ourselves together as a group to say, shut up and work, lead the rest out of it, obviously, but get to the next play, get to the next action, get to the next set. Use this as fuel for our next game, and as a leader, you want to make sure that we kind of stay on a confidence and positive note. We've already seen what the results was tonight, so we use it, and then we go to the next page.
We go Michael, then we go Jacob on the right again.
Yeah, Caitlin, this is the only team you guys have lost to, is Minnesota. Obviously, they're one of the top teams. Are there things maybe you've learned specifically from playing this team in these 2 games that you guys can help you going forward?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think they're the hardest team in the league to guard, probably. I think their movement is incredible. The way they play is incredible. It's how basketball should be played. I think our matchup is so good for... our matchup is just great for basketball, too. If you want to watch 2 teams that play basketball the right way, it's this. Yeah. Play up tempo, you share the ball. It's not sets all the time. They run great action. They run great ball screen stuff. They space the floor. All 5 of them can shoot at all times. It's hard to guard, especially when they're running clear side pick and roll with Fee. She demands so much attention, and then you're stunting at... You're guarding 3 or 4. You're guarding 3 3-point shooters with 2 people. There's only so much you can do, and Carlton makes us pay, especially there late. And we're closing out to her, doing our best. So, I think for us, it's just you gotta play a step ahead. You know what they're gonna do. You gotta be over there earlier. And we had some possessions where we were really good, but at the same time, we gave up 34 points in the paint, and this is a team that loves the 3-point line. So we gotta either make them shoot more threes. We gotta guard the paint a little bit better, but at the same time, we need to score in the paint more. That's not an area that we did well tonight, is we have to beat them in points in the paint, and we can't tie with them, so.
Last 2, Jacob, then we'll finish with Christine again.
Kelsey, you just mentioned you guys needing to take another step. Minnesota's one of the top teams, maybe a playoff matchup for you guys. Do you kind of view this as a measuring stick of maybe a level you guys need to get to now?
Oh, definitely. I think that was just the conversation in our locker room amongst our vets like Timmy and Katie Lou. They definitely said that this is the standard. And we want to compete at that next level and be a part of a playoff run, not just getting there, not just being a part of it, but making a run and making an impact. We won't have to use this as leverage and know that, they're the best. And in order to beat the best, you got to compete every night. And I think we're going to use the film on a positive note and keep going forward.
Christine, last one.
Yeah, Caitlin, so the third quarter, as you were describing, it's intense, and you went to the bench for a couple of minutes. What are you doing mentally there to either calm down or get yourself back, fired up, to then have the fourth quarter that you had?
Yeah, I think just kind of reset. I think it felt from my standpoint that the third quarter kind of got away from us. I looked up the clock, and there was only 2 minutes left on the clock, and I think we had scored 8 points. So I felt like we just continued to not really execute. So I think just get a quick breather, knowing that I'm going to need myself and to find a way to have a big fourth quarter for us. And then I thought we came out and really responded in the fourth quarter. So I think that is a positive to take away, is we found a way to respond at the beginning of the fourth. And our last 3 minutes of the game wasn't great, but if we limit everything in the third, we're in a really good position to be successful in the fourth. So I think I'm just happy our crowd, like, they really got behind us and helped us. I don't know if we don't have them, we probably don't even get back into it. So it was a lot of fun to have them, but I think just kind of have a mental reset and get ready to play the fourth.
All right, thank